Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Friends. Before we kick it off and get started, I want to thank the folks at Garage Door Service and Sales. These are my ride or die. I have been endorsing them since I practically started in radio, like 18 years ago. Actually, I should say 16 because that's the end of when I quit radio. Why am I going into this? This is like deep shit. I just want to tell you about the great folks at Garage Door Service and Sales. Call Patrice. Call Tony when you need something fixed on your garage door. Call them if you want a brand new garage door. Or you can go in and look at all the different... I love doing this. Going in and looking at all the hot, cool, sexy new garage doors. This is definitely something that you don't start truly caring about until maybe you're a little older. But damn, it's a thrill for me to go into Garage Door Service and Sales and check out everything. You know what my dream is? Instead of having doors on the house, like, you know, those sliding doors in the back, I want a garage door. Okay, now it sounds outlandish, but maybe you've seen them before. They do that. They'll put a track in your house and they'll put it like an all glass garage door and you lift it up in the summer. My God, that's my dream. Call my friends at Garage Door Service and Sales or maybe go onto their website, garagedoorserviceandsales.com, a proud sponsor of the Sadie and Friends podcast.
I'm going to say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Let's talk about marriage.
They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
Parenting. Oh my gosh.
They have sucked the pretty right out of me. They treat me like it, and I do their laundry. Lucky me.
Sex.
I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Scary stuff like ghosts. I know it's totally out of left field, but just go with me on this.
Boo, you whore.
Love.
I give you what you need. That's all. I'm talking about taking care of each other the best you can. What's wrong with taking care of a woman? She takes care of you.
Friendships.
Wink and her necklace says best friends forever.
Actually, you want it to say forever? I don't think you guys will be best friends forever, no offense. But sometimes you grow apart, and maybe she'll find a new best friend. They end up doing everything together.
It is really calming.
Yeah.
To listen to. I've had Murphy been falling asleep to it the last couple nights.
Those calming beats.
Yeah, just it's called. I might be mispronouncing the name, but binaural beats.
I've heard of them because you can do different colors, right?
Different colors, different hertz and whatnot. But when I turn it on and I just kind of chill out with her at night and whatnot, gone. Just gone.
Oh, see, maybe.
And I found myself putting in headphones during the day and like when I'm working,
listening to
it, and it's just
like
zone.
Sounds, right?
Yeah.
It's
do
just like
you want to see
sounds.
If I can play something?
You know what? I'll find a clip and I'll play it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's been comforting to me. I wouldn't call it my comfort listen, but it's really comforting to listen to. It's just relaxing and whatnot.
See, I love this podcast. It's called Frightful Fandom, and this girl just legitimately retells the stories of scary movies. And I just have to say, I'm thoroughly obsessed with it.
The only other thing I have, I think, is we've talked about Brian Cox.
Yes.
So not the actor Succession Brian Cox, but like the Neil deGrasse Tyson astronomer from the UK Brian Cox.
Yeah.
And he's just got this really melodic, slow pace UK accent where he talks about space and galaxies and whatnot. And it's just like the most relaxing damn thing in the world. So anything he does, I'll listen to that.
So we're talking about relaxing things, like comfort things.
Yeah.
And, you know, this podcast where this girl goes to Comic-Con and tells scary stories. That's my comfort podcast.
Yeah.
What's your comfort podcast? Because you were saying your comfort show, The West Wing. My comfort show would probably be The Office. And I think that these comfort things, like my sister Katie, her comfort, she likes old TV shows like Three's Company or The Love Boat. Yeah. I will say that finding this channel on my sorcery TV where it's just Highway to Heaven has brought me such zen. And I really enjoy watching it. But it's one of those things where I get sucked in and the music is so... Anyway, so we're talking comfort items, whether it's comfort food or it's a comfort... Do you have a comfort book? Like you've read... I have a comfort book and it's also equally messed up. I love reading either Jaws or The Exorcist. I love reading Jaws because Jaws is so different than the movie. The book is incredibly different than the movie. Like big, big major things happen in the book that do not
Is there a
happen in
shark?
the movie. Yeah.
People die?
Yeah, but I feel like you don't really get to the shark part in the book until about the second half. In the second half, it talks about the shark, but the first half, there's this whole other dichotomy of like problems.
Okay.
And it's just really interesting.
Okay. Old TV shows?
Old TV shows. I'm trying
Timely.
to think. Oh, I have a
Cheers.
Cheers is totally a comfort show.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character on Cheers?
Well, it was
Is it Norm?
Norm.
Well, it can still be Norm.
I have to tell you that when I was young, that was like a weird crush that I had. Not on Norm, but on Sam Malone.
Sam Malone's awesome.
He was so cool. He was an ex-baseball player, but we bring this up because I hate to break the news if you haven't heard yet, but Norm died. He was 76 years old.
George went, yeah.
How does a beer sound, Norm?
I don't know, Coach. I usually finish them before they get a word in.
George Wendt died. Now, here's a weird fact that maybe if you're listening, you've never heard before. And that is that George Wendt is the uncle of Jason Sudeikis, the actor.
Saturday Night Live, Ted Lasso.
Which is so weird because they look nothing alike.
Well, I mean, do you look like your aunts?
Oh, let me think. No.
See?
That's
It's not
that's
weird.
okay.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm just kidding. They were
George
stunning.
Wendt, and they were 76. I don't know how old I thought George Wendt was or anybody.
I feel like the cast of Cheers seems eternal.
Yeah, eternal, but it got me thinking, and I know that they've done this with not Norm, but who's the Cliff Clavin, the mailman or whatnot?
Oh, yeah.
Because you think about them. Think about watching Cheers. They're at the end of the bar. Woody Harrelson's there. Sam Malone's there. Norm, Cliff Clavin. And you got a picture in your head, right?
Yeah.
And how old do you think those people are? And I was looking, when Cheers started, Norm
Oh, I love this game.
was 33 years old.
Oh, my God.
It ended, he was 44, right? Cliff Clavin was in his 30s. And I remember Cliff Clavin.
He had like the salt and pepper in his
Which is like
mustache.
John Rathslisberger or something like that.
And he was also, he's in Monsters, Inc. too.
Yeah. And, but he's in he's a lot of Pixar stuff.
Yeah.
But he wasn't just salt and pepper. He was something else. I mean, he was pure gray when he was on Cheers. I'm pulling it up.
While you're pulling it up, I'll just read this little bit about Norm, which wasn't his real name, but that's how I choose to remember him. He was married to his wife, Bernadette. Doesn't he look like he'd be married to a Bernadette?
That, you want to talk about comforting.
I know someone named Bernadette. They got married in 1978 and they had 3 children together. And he was close with this family before he passed away, which is always sweet to hear because a lot of times when there's like a hit show, maybe the actors will kind of become disconnected from reality and they'll become a-holes. And so I love reading about how he was such a wonderful father and family man. And it just makes me sad. But then I think like, wow, he lived a really long life to be in your 70s. But I also think when you're in your 70s, you probably get to a point where you're like, no way. And I don't think I'm going to die that early. I remember asking my grandma once, I said, are you afraid to die? You've lived a pretty good life. And she's like, everybody's afraid to die. I mean, even if you're the most spiritual person, I think there is that like, that's scary. I don't think I want to do that. It's like getting on a roller coaster that you're forced to ride on. Everybody else is going on it. And when is it your turn? Also yesterday, Ryan and I went and saw Final Destination Bloodlines. And that's why I think I feel so morbid today.
Because you saw all those fictional characters die in the weirdest ways possible.
Oh my God. Not to transition, but I think we finished with Norm.
Okay.
So yesterday, Ryan and we went to the theater. Yep. And we went on a date. And which is so not a good date for you because you're not into this stuff. Speaking of horror movies, we went and saw the new Final Destination, Bloodlines.
I always knew this day would come. I held him off for years. He's a relentless son of a bitch. Won't stop till he finishes the job. Death is coming for our family.
Which they say is going to be the final.
No,
And
no,
there's no way. This is like when old bands are like farewell tour. And then a few years later, they end up doing a brand new tour. And that's what this was. Essentially, if you've never heard of what this is, let me explain it. You can also find it on the Frightful Fandom podcast where she does a whole series. It's somebody cheats death, and then death comes back and takes everyone who was supposed to die one by one. And they get murdered. They die in the most insanely messed up ways. And so Ryan was such a sport because you hate these movies. You don't like the gory and the guts and the scary and that's not your. And so he was such a trooper, and that was a great date night.
You enjoyed Bloodlines?
I'm going to tell you, I did enjoy it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking. So it's the 6th Final Destination. First one came out in 2000, all the way to 2011 for the first 5. And then it's been 14 years since one. So I think we're about to hit another string of Final Destination movies.
Yeah. I mean, they'll find ways to go off in different directions. And
because this one's going to make money.
Yeah, I mean, it's number 1 at the box office right now. People have like this need. They have this want to go and see these scary. Every time a scary movie comes out, look at Sinners. That was number 1 for quite a while.
That was a great movie.
And that is different than Listen, if you're going to Final Destination Bloodlines, don't expect an Oscar.
Yeah.
Now, I could see Sinners actually winning awards.
Yeah.
I could, because it is a great story. It's a great cast.
Yeah.
It's like Ryan put it, it's like From Dusk Till Dawn and Django kind of mixed together.
Well, Shane Gillis said that, and I agreed with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly like that. But we went on a date. We saw this ridiculous movie. And what's crazy is it is number 1 at the box office, but there was nobody there.
Well, and it will be number 1 at the box office until next week, because what's coming out this week?
I know.
Which 2 movies are coming out this week?
Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch.
What's going to do better?
Lilo and Stitch. I think kids' movies always do better.
Really?
I do, because
Mission Impossible.
When there are families, like for you and I to go to an adult movie seems to be very rare for us, because we have a 7-year-old. So taking her, you can't go to Final Destination Bloodlines. We'd never sleep again. And so when you're doing something with Family Plus, we're also heading into summer.
Yeah.
So this will bleed into summer, which means it'll continue the momentum, I think.
Sure.
And so that's what I think.
I bet you Lilo and Stitch will come out.
Right?
Yeah. I've also heard it's like ridiculously good. I heard it's their best live action one. So.
Well, it's taken some hits with Snow White.
Oh, yeah.
And
but
The Little Mermaid.
The Lion King was a $1 billion movie for live action.
Was it? It was not billion.
Yeah, it was.
No.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Well, I only heard not great things about the Lion King remake. I think that people who are paying for the tickets are people like our age, where we saw these original movies come out and we don't want anything to mess with those beautiful memories. And so they're...
Yeah, but you can go experience in those movies with your kids. You know what I mean?
But I would be much more excited, and I would pay the money if they did a release of The Little Mermaid, the original.
They've tried those. It doesn't work.
What do you mean
they've re-released things like that? Just you don't get a bunch of people going to them.
See, that way I would prefer to do that. But I have also heard that the Lilo and Stitch movie is very good, and that is coming out this next weekend. Oh my God. The amount of spam calls I get in a day are insane. And there's always a part of me that's like, should I answer? What if it's like a hospital? What if something is wrong? It never is. It's a recording, and they're like, good news. The government has now released funds for people's mortgages for people. And everyone is just a complete scam. And I don't want to go into the when I was young road.
I'm old.
But when I was young, there used to be this recording that you could pay extra for, and it would say, it wouldn't let the fake phone calls come through. All the junk calls, it would say, if you're a junk call, hang up. Now it's all robotic and a million calls, and then I just got a text. Hi, Sadie. They make it so like personable. I'm Mark with the NRDC Action Fund. And I'm like, for a second I thought, because I do want to stop pollution, but I'm probably going to end that. Gosh, we're flip-flopping around today.
Also, we've talked about you getting like an agenda together for the kids for Murph for the summer and whatnot. And you've started that process.
Yeah.
And I saw an article that got me thinking, when's the last time that you did not a kids agenda party, anything? When's the last time you did a girls trip?
A girls trip?
Girls trip.
I don't think I've ever done a girls trip. I've had like a girl day.
Or a girl like night. Like
I've had a girl night, yeah, where the girls get together and stay somewhere.
But it's not been like a girls trip, like a Napa, Phoenix.
No, I've never done that.
Would you be comfortable doing that? And how long would you be okay with doing that?
It would depend on who, because everybody has friends who they could travel with, and it'd be easy. And then everybody has friends who are maybe a little bit more high maintenance. And you know that they're super great to hang out with, but then on the flip side, you don't think you could spend a weekend with them somewhere. And so I don't know. It would depend on who I'm with. And I think overnight would be
your limit. You couldn't do
my
like
limit.
A multiple day, like 2-3 day trip somewhere.
No.
And why not?
How did you know I was going to say no? Because you jumped right on that.
Is it because you miss your comfort, your bed?
Yeah, I do. I have a heart. Now I can go if I could really go if I, had to. Doesn't that sound bad?
It sounds bad.
Okay, I could go.
You could go, but you would. Why pay for it when you're like, oh, I don't want to do anything more than 2 nights?
Well, first of all, I said 1 night.
I know, but like I'm saying, could you go on a girls trip for 2 or 3 nights? Like that show you watched, what is it? White Lotus.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, and there are some girls.
Girls, they go on a girl trip to, this one's different. It was like Thailand, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about even just like San Diego, Napa, something. How long could you go for?
I think that, again, it depends on who I go with. But I think if I'm thinking of the friends I'm thinking of who I could go with, I could probably do 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I think women
enjoy it.
I think women aren't like, I think we may not be built for long-term staying at each other's, staying the night with each other. Does that make sense?
Do you think guys are?
No, I don't think, but dudes take trips together, like fishing trips or, stuff like that.
I think it's becoming less and less of a thing.
Guys or girls?
Girls, guys, trips, anything. There
was just one overnight stay that I was invited to, but that was with a lot of girls that I don't super know well.
Okay.
And so seemed very overwhelming to me, where I'm like, oh, I don't know, spending the night in a hotel room with like 6 girls. And then they came back and had beautiful pictures and they were laughing. And I felt like I was on the outside of the joke. And I'm like, damn it, I should have gone. But at the time, I was like, I just know I'm going to get there. And then I'm going to be like, where did we park, you guys? I have to go with people who know my
don't you
ticks.
think it would be good for you to do something like that? Where it'd be good for you to take a 2-night stay, 3 days, 2 nights.
Why are you trying to get me out of the house?
asking. Because I just saw an article where it was like 6 girls took a trip. And I'm like, I don't think you've ever done that.
I've done overnights, but no, I've never done.
But go 3 days, 2 nights, something as an example.
Oh, yeah, I've done overnight a couple times.
Yeah.
There's a couple, but no more than 1 night. And I have to tell you, both times I was ready to go home. Not because I didn't love them or want to hang out with them, but it was just, I was ready to get home, shower in my own house, And
that's the thing for you, is be in your own environment.
I love being at home, and I think you should love being at home.
Okay.
I think that should be your place. And so I love it.
So you wouldn't want to do
I don't think
like
I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I don't.
If you were surprised with something for a birthday trip or something, where it was like, hey, you get to go do this, and you and 3 of your best girlfriends are going to go. Would you be like, no, you asshole, I don't want to go do that? Or would you be like, oh my God, this is going to be so nice?
I feel like that would be nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it would.
Because I could see you going either way on it.
And it depends on where we're going. See, maybe I'm the friend that people don't want to travel with. Like, where are we going?
Sure.
So day 8 of Diddy's testimony, And I have to tell you that they're once again bringing up the fact that he had 87 trillion bottles of Astroglide and baby. I didn't know you could use baby oil in a sexual manner. Wouldn't that give you some sort of infection or something?
I don't know. But did I just see a picture of like ropes and stuff?
Oh, yeah. This guy was a freak. And, you know, this is something that I read and I thought this cannot be, but it came out in court. So I feel like it's real. His mother was at the I know, look at your face. And she would give him direction of what to do with this poor girl, Cassie. She'd be like, you know, do this with her. And he'd do it. I know, Ryan, you're looking at me like I did this. I would die before I did this with my children or my parents. But yeah.
Wait, how is this something that's come out?
Yes.
Or is this someone who'd be like, oh, I bet his mom was there?
No, the mom, it came out. Cassie did her testimony. That's Diddy's ex-girlfriend who he beat and he should rot in hell. But I digress. She came out in her testimony and she said that the mom was there all the time. Was an active participant, sometimes in the same room, which I don't know. I don't care how rich you are. That would scare me off of a relationship. I would be like, and cut it.
I've heard messed up things throughout this entire thing.
Right?
That is the most messed up I've heard.
That's like next level freak, right? I know you're looking at me like you don't even believe me.
His mom was there giving direction.
Yeah, and I could say what came out in court, but it's really gross. Like it's insanely gross.
I'm kind of grossed out right now.
Well, so I am watching, which is so funny that it's a 24-hour live coverage, which means somebody sets a tripod up next to the entrance of the courthouse and you see them going in the morning and coming out at night. And then they're talking about it. So they're covering right now again, how much lube this guy had at his house. And they're also talking about all the things that he's done to other people. Like they're going to start looking into Biggie Smalls' death. They're going to start this goes so insanely deep. So I every day have to give a Diddy update because you know, it's so prevalent, maybe not in your world, but it is in mine. And I feel like if you're listening, maybe we're on kind of the same track here and maybe you're interested in this too. But are you looking it up?
I don't know if I want to
hear anymore
further in that box.
You don't see, I can't get enough. Every turn, there's something where I'm like, no. And that's disgusting. But I love this. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster because who would have ever thought P. Diddy? He was such a dork to me.
Dork, but awful.
I know, but he did play kind of the nice guy role. He changed his name for a while to like Peace Love or something.
I have no idea.
Oh my God. And then he was getting freaky with his mom. Oh, and this is a big deal. This is federal court. Like you're going to prison. This isn't just like a state court. This is a big, big deal. And so they're still going on the trial.
How long do they expect this to last?
I don't know. They've really flown through a lot of stuff. Again, this is day 8 and they've gone through a lot, but they're having to bring in people like rapper Kid Cudi. Is that his name?
Sure.
He's going to testify that Diddy blew his car up. Like, this is one of those things where I thought Diddy was like Wayne Brady.
But he might be Capone.
But he's coming out and being like the most messed up. But okay, so also in the testimony was not only the fact that Diddy's mom was there, but they also talked about the fact that Diddy's mom was a single mom and she would also have drug-fueled freak-offs. And Diddy was there as a kid. And so I know you're giving a face like you feel bad for Diddy, the Diddler.
I don't want to go down. I don't know, man. This is disturbing as all hell. I don't want to go down this road.
Well, I have to give a daily update on what's going on in the Diddler trial. And that's literally what's going on. They had like 20 different male escorts on the other day and they testified. And I don't know, the whole thing. I'm disgusting that I'm following it so closely, but I am. This is just who I am. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Be sure to download and hit that. Well, no, see, I did that wrong. Be sure to hit that automatic download. And if you're on YouTube, maybe listening to the show or watching the shorts, if you could click on subscribe. And I think that's it. That's all I'm going to ask for today. We'll be back tomorrow, which it's the weekly roundup. The weekly roundup is happening tomorrow. I'll tell you everything that's trending. I will, and I don't have to necessarily go into Diddy. I might go in a little bit to Diddy because that is definitely trending right now. I'll give you the trending stories of the week. I'll give you the movies that are coming out this weekend, and I will give you the hottest songs, hottest/sexiest songs on the charts right now. It's the weekend roundup, and it's happening tomorrow, presented by Christiana Salon Spa. Thanks for listening. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. Be sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. I noticed that there were a lot of people who subscribed recently, so thank you for that if you have. If not, go on to that because I post pretty dang regularly. I actually just got a message from Facebook that said, and maybe this is bogus. Who knows if this is true, but it says, we're putting your stuff out to a wider audience because you post regularly. They probably aren't even doing that, but I get excited when I hear stuff like that and very grateful. So thank you very, very much. And before I sign out for the day, I just want to say thank you to my friends at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating and Air. Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating and Air is not only family owned and operated, it is locally owned and operated. And it is veteran owned and operated. And all you have to do is just go on to Google reviews, go on to Yelp, and just read all of the amazing reviews that are left by people who are just blown away by the service. We had them come out and do a complete system checkup before, it starts getting incredibly hot. I hate nothing more than to be hot and sweaty. I don't know how people live without air conditioners. It's just, what are you doing? Call my friends. They've got such great rebates right now that you're going to get an amazing deal on that system that'll keep your family cool all summer long. So go onto their website, polarbearpha.com. Yeah, that's right. Plumbing, heating, and air. How sad I have to stop it. Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air is a proud sponsor of the podcast.